The Trae Young disrespect has to come to an end at some point. I mean, I get it if you're a New York Knicks fan, the man owns your franchise, but at a certain point you just have to appreciate the greatness of this guy. He has consistently proven doubters wrong time in and time out ever since he came in the NBA. I mean, I remember the whole he's gonna be a bust coming out of Oklahoma thing when he came into the league as a rookie. He started off the season pretty slow and then people got on him and said, hey, look at him, he's a bust, he's a fake Steph Curry, Diet Dr. Pepper, all that stuff. Even though we've seen rookies come in and struggle and then pick it up towards the end of the season, just like this year we saw the same thing from Jalen Green, and last year we saw a similar thing with Anthony Edwards. It happens to all rookies, you have to adjust to the league. And Trae Young did the same thing, averaging 23 points, 9 assists and 5 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field, 35% from 3 and 86% at the free throw line. He had to walk into incredible expectations of people saying he was the next Steph Curry, and he carved his own lane and became the next Trae Young. With this day and age of social media, with expectations being higher than ever, for Trae Young to come out the gates and struggle for the first half of his rookie year and validate so many critics who were on the Hawks and Trae Young's ass saying, hey man, they made the wrong decision, look at Luka Doncic over here, he's the true rookie of the year, balling out. But Trae Young used that as motivation to do what he did in the second half of his rookie year and make those critics look like clowns. But you would think that would be enough for Trae Young haters to understand that this guy is legit, that he may not be the next Steph Curry, but what he's gonna become is still gonna be an all-time great player. Because sure, he doesn't have the shooting ability of Steph Curry, but who does? The guy can still pull up from the logo and his gravity extends to half court. So sure, he may not be Steph Curry with the shot or even Damian Lillard with the shot, but the shot is still respected, which he does for so many guys on the court, which frees up opportunities for every single player that is around him. And combine that with the fact that his vision is on par with some of the best players in the league and some of the best players of all time, I gotta say Trae Young is a once in a lifetime offensive player, especially for somebody at his size. I mean, in his sophomore season he averaged 29 and 9, essentially 30 and 10 as a sophomore in the league on 44, 36, 86 shooting splits, which essentially translates to a true shooting percentage of nearly 60%. That was an all-time great sophomore season, but yet the whole narrative was he doesn't deserve to be an all-star starter. Why did he get it over Bradley Beal? The Hawks are not a good team, empty stats, blah blah blah, you can't win with them, blah blah blah, his defense sucks, blah blah blah, all this hating ass shit. And I have to be honest, I was on that train. I thought and I questioned, why can't you win with Trae Young? I mean, he's putting up these great numbers, the offense looks nice with him on the court, so maybe it's the defense that's the problem, and maybe you just can't win with somebody like that. Wrong, because in his third season he proved everybody, including myself, wrong with that stupid ass opinion. My goodness, we gotta stop blaming players for being in bad situations. Players like Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, and Trae Young, they have proven over the last couple of seasons that sure, they aren't LeBron James that's gonna just lift their team to the playoffs even if they have bums, at least prime LeBron would do that, but because we've been spoiled by that LeBron era, I definitely believe it's affected guys like Trae Young, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, their reputation as just these empty stat guys, because they couldn't lift their teams with underwhelming ass rosters to some type of playoff appearance. It really is unfortunate and wrong that we hold them to that standard. But Trae Young, he showed up and showed out last season and proved all of those people, including myself yet again, that said that he is not a winning player and that the team is better off if they just get somebody else for him to be the Robin and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Trae Young made them look like fools, because after a stellar regular season of averaging 25 and 9 on 59% true shooting, which included them starting off the season 14 and 20 and then finishing off the year in the last 31 games that Trae Young played with a 23 and 8 record, it just went to show that Trae Young proved that he could be a winning player. And sure, his defense is not great, but it's not something that's going to stop you from having some type of playoff success, which the Hawks saw last season as they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And on the way there, Trae Young averaged 29, 10 and 3 on 55% true shooting, and in each of those series he was facing top 5 to 10 defenses in the NBA, such as the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. And sure, the efficiency was not the best, but when you're the only source of offense on your team, I expect you to be just a little bit inefficient, and he obviously was. But despite those inefficiencies, he was still able to pick apart the defenses with his gravity when he has the ball. He was already one of the best pick and roll ball handlers in the NBA, but guys like John Collins, Clint Capella, he made them look far better with his explosiveness as a pick and roll ball handler in that postseason. And the thing is, people didn't even see it coming. They thought they were gonna lose in the first round, but then not only did they make the conference finals, but they beat the first seeded Philadelphia 76ers to do so. I mean, Trae just keeps defying the odds time in and time out, and people don't learn. They just like to keep disrespecting him. And it happened this year too, because you would think that people would learn, but then when the new rules got implemented, they were like, oh, Trae Young's gonna get exposed. He's nothing but a foul merchant, not knowing that Trae Young is just naturally good at drawing fouls anyway. Sure, he does foul bait, but unlike that left-handed Raymond Felton out there in Philadelphia, he actually has a couple of moves outside of the three-point shot and his floater. And this year, Trae has had the most efficient season of his career, and is probably going to be awarded with an All-NBA selection that will be well-deserved after averaging 28 and 10 on 46, 38, and 90 shooting splits, which results to a true shooting percentage at a career high of 60%. And on top of that amazing stat line, Trae Young also is the first player in over 50 years since Tiny Archibald in 1973 to lead the NBA in total points and assists. So essentially, after the crackhead era of the 70s and real basketball started with Larry and Magic in the 80s, nobody has ever had a season like Trae Young has had this year. And though people have mentioned it on Twitter, I'm not saying it's completely ignored. It doesn't get talked about enough, because I guarantee you if Luka Doncic did that shit, we would be talking about it a lot more. Not only fans, but definitely the mainstream media for sure. But after having this incredible season, I consistently heard people say, okay, let him try to make the playoffs. If he's that great of a player, he should be able to do that, right? Well, okay, that's a weird thing for him to have to prove, even though he went to the conference finals literally last season, but okay, that's fine, we'll do that though. And what happens in game 1? He has 24 points and 11 assists, and they win that game. But all I heard from some critics was, yo, he shot 8 of 24 on one of the worst defenses in the NBA. He can't do any better than that. What's he trying to do, a dedication to Kobe Bryant? And though that is a dumb argument, as yes, he shot inefficient from the field, but just like many players in this league, you can still be inefficient while affecting the game in a positive manner, and Trae Young did that with his gravity, playmaking, ball handling, all of that stuff. Because when you're being double teamed and triple teamed, it frees up so many options for your team offensively, whether it's lob threats, cutting to the basket, swing passes, whatever it is, Trae Young can get it done as the playmaker. But I guess that wasn't enough for people. They wanted to see something more. They wanted to see something better. Well, Trae Young gave them what they wanted last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, because after a terrible first half, shooting 3 of 11 from the field with 6 points, a lot of people were already getting their laughter in. I was seeing the goofballs, the clowns, the idiots. They were ready to hate. They were ready to clown Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks out of the playoffs, but Trae Young had other ideas in the second half. I mean, we talk about explosions. This was one for the ages, as in the second half, Trae Young had 32 points on 10 of 15 shooting from the field and 4 of 7 from 3. They would end up winning the game. He outplayed Darius Garland, who, by the way, shout out to him for a great season, but he went out really sad, tough scene. But as it pertains to Trae Young, I gotta say, what else do you want him to do? He did this without John Collins, by the way. He led the Hawks to a play-in spot and playoff spot without his second best player. There's no doubt in my mind that Trae Young is not only a top 10 to 15 player in this league, but also a top 3 point guard. There really isn't anything you can tell me to think otherwise. I don't want to hear anything about his defense being too much of a liability when they're in the playoffs and they made the conference finals last year. I'm not saying Trae Young is a top 5 player, but he deserves his respect as being in the tier right below those guys, because outside of defense, on offense, he can give you every single thing you want out of any player, not just a point guard, but any player. And time in and time out, I consistently hear narratives about him that are just untrue, and he consistently proves those people wrong. And it's okay to be wrong and then change your opinion based on the new information provided. That's just how the world works. But to then double down and make yourself even sound more foolish, and for Trae to consistently make you look even more foolish, it's crazy to me. So the Trae Young disrespect, I gotta see it end today. If not, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably gonna do nothing. But you guys, let me know your opinions down below about Trae Young. Where do you think he ranks among point guards and players in the NBA? Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and press that bell for post notifications. Follow me on social media. The links are down below in the description box. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.